evening. Welcome to South Asia Newsline. I'm Arjun Chowdhury. Here are the top stories we're tracking for you on Friday, the 29th of January. 6 people injured in suicide bomb blast in Pakistan. Willing to review blasphemy law, says top Pakistani cleric. And now for all the details. 6 people, including security personnel and 2 children, were injured in a blast in Pakistan's western province of Balochistan. A suicide bomber rammed an explosive-laden vehicle into the gate of the military cantonment compound of Zob district. 2 security personnel were critically injured in the attack and are being treated in a military-run hospital, sources said. Heavy contingent of security forces have cordoned off the area. Zob is considered to be a sensitive district of Balochistan since it borders with the country's volatile tribal belt and is considered to be a transit point for militants sneaking from neighboring Afghanistan and the tribal belt of Pakistan. Meanwhile, Pakistan Interior Minister Nisar Ali Khan hit back at critics for trying to score brownie points after the recent terror attack on Bacha Khan University. He said that instead of standing united, the opposition was sowing panic in the country.
Khan came out all guns blazing at political detractors for spreading fear among citizens. We are in a state of war, which we are winning militarily but losing psychologically because some people have decided to create chaos by political point scoring, the minister said. Apparently referring to the Pakistan People's Party led by Asif Ali Zardari, Khan said that people criticizing his government's National Action Plan to tackle terrorists are the ones who remained dormant during their tenure and did nothing to eradicate terrorism from the country. Pakistan government has drawn intense criticism for failure to tackle terrorism following the attack on Bacha Khan University in Charsada this month, in which 21 people were killed. Opposing the closure of schools over security concerns, Nisar urged the provincial governments not to close institutions over the fear of attacks, as it would mean bowing down to terrorism. Khan claimed that terrorism has been curbed compared to the previous years. In 2014, civilian deaths in terror attacks were around 2,500, which came down to 400 in 2015. Pakistan government, which had announced the National Action Plan to counter terrorism in the aftermath of Peshawar school attack in 2014, claims it has been successful in curbing militancy in the country and downsizing militant stronghold.
More than 230 educational institutions in Pakistan's northern Rawalpindi division have been sealed due to inadequate security. The decision to shut down schools and university for a few days in northern province of Punjab has come more than a week after the deadly terror attack on Bacha Khan University, which killed 21 people.
53 educational institutions in the Rawalpindi division have received final notices to improve their security arrangements. The Punjab government had ordered a shutdown of educational institutions across the province for 5 days as their administrations were directed to comply with standard security procedures. If the procedures are not followed, actions will be taken against the authorities, reports suggested. In Jhelum, 15 educational institutions, including 10 government and 5 private schools, were sealed. Chakwal saw 4 schools sealed and 3 others were given warnings by the administration. In Attock, according to intelligence agency's fresh survey, 205 schools and colleges lacked adequate security arrangements. Such steps have been taken after the deadly terror attack in Bacha Khan University in Charsada of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province. A faction of Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan, which claimed responsibility for the attack in the university, has vowed to attack more educational institutes in Pakistan, forcing the authorities to take stringent security measures. The university attack was reminiscent of the Army public school attack in Peshawar, in the same province, in which 134 students were killed in a massacre carried out by the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Taliban militants in 2014.
Staying on news from the country, Mohammad Khan Sherani, head of Pakistan's top religious body, has said that he is willing to review the country's harsh blasphemy law to decide if they are Islamic. Critics say the laws are regularly misused and have led to the deaths of hundreds.
Mohammad Khan Sherani, chairman of Council of Islamic Ideology or CII, said that he was willing to reopen debate on blasphemy laws and see if sentences as harsh as death penalty were fair. The CII is a religious body that advises the Pakistan government on compatibility of laws with Islam.
तौहीन रिसालत का जो क़ानून है वो चाहिए कि हुकूमत इस्लामी नज़रियाती कौंसल के पास बाकायदा हुकूमती तौर पे भेज दे, क्योंकि अगर वो नहीं भेज देंगे तो उलमा जो हैं उसमें इख्तिलाफ नज़र तो रखते हैं, लेकिन अगर हुकूमत बाकायदा भेज दें तो फिर इख्तिलाफ नज़र के लिए उसने दलील देनी होगी.
Sherani said that there were many un-Islamic laws on the statute book that he was advising the government to overturn, including presidential pardons for a murderer.
पाकिस्तान की हुकूमत मगरिब में मफादात की मुहाफिज हुकूमत है, इसको आप छोड़ दें, इसको इस्लाम से ताबीर न करें.
Pakistan's blasphemy laws mandate death penalty, although no sentence has been carried out. Critics say the law is abused in poor, rural areas by enemies falsely accusing others to settle personal scores. Presenting evidence in court can be considered a new infringement, so judges are reluctant to hear cases. Those acquitted have often been lynched. Salman Taseer, a prominent liberal politician, was killed by his own bodyguard in 2011 after he had championed the cause of a Christian woman who was sentenced to death under the law.
India will raise the issue of an unidentified balloon-like object that intruded into Indian territory allegedly from Pakistan and was subsequently brought down in the country's western province of Rajasthan. Foreign Affairs Ministry spokesperson Vikas Swarup stated. The balloon-like object was detected by the Indian Air Force on Tuesday while the country celebrated its 67th Republic Day. It was later shot down by a fighter aircraft in western district of Barmer. Panic gripped villagers in the district after a loud explosion was heard when the fighter jet brought down the suspicious object. According to Indian sources, the object had come from Pakistan and could have been an attempt to gauge India's response time. The Indian Defence Ministry on Wednesday had then written to the External Affairs Ministry and had asked to do the needful. Moving on, the apparent next commander for US forces in Afghanistan, Lieutenant General John Nicholson, feels that there is a need to re-evaluate the schedule for troop reductions in war-torn Afghanistan. The Pentagon has nominated Nicholson as the new commander of Operation Resolute Support, the ongoing US operation in Afghanistan.
Stopping the growth of Islamic State and the re-emergence of Al-Qaeda will be his first and foremost priority, said the general chosen by Barack Obama to command the Afghanistan war. Nicholson signaled an intention to intensify counter-terrorism efforts by especially citing the rise of ISIS in Nangarhar and Al-Qaeda in Kandahar. We need to have an adequate counter-terrorist force in place, he said before senators on Thursday while commenting over troop withdrawal plans for the fight there. He added that he needs at least 3 months in the new role to properly evaluate the mission needs and risks for US troops in the country. Nicholson's remarks come at a time when there has been vast uncertainty over the withdrawal of US troops. There has been a surge in the Taliban-led attacks in the country, while the ISIS has also been trying to make some inroads.
In Myanmar, Nobel Peace Laureate Aung San Suu Kyi's National League for Democracy party is set to control the new parliament due to start on February 1st. The NLD under Suu Kyi's leadership is expected to reboot the country that has been under military rule or a quasi-civilian government backed by military for more than half a century.
On Thursday, curtains fell on the quasi-civilian government of President Thein Sein to make way for the first truly civilian government in Myanmar. Suu Kyi's pro-democracy party that won a historic election in November is preparing for a dramatic power transfer that will loosen the army's 50-year clasp on the country. However, NLD officials say the transition of power from military to a civilian government is a crucial event and won't be a smooth sailing, and that they have to be careful in handling the situation. According to the junta drafted 2008 constitution, which experts say was designed to entrench the military influence on the country's politics, the army retains major clout with a quota of parliamentary seats reserved for unelected soldiers. Despite the NLD winning about 80% of the elected seats in parliament, the quota of unelected seats reserved for the army mean they retain a constitutional veto. The constitution also bars Suu Kyi from becoming president because her late husband was British and her sons are not Myanmar citizens. But despite a constitutional ban, Suu Kyi said she will instead run the country above the president, a proxy chosen by her party.
กรณีนี้เนี่ยมันเป็นไปได้ไหมมันเป็นไปได้ตอนนี้ทุกอย่างเป็นไปได้หมดนะคะแต่ว่าการคอนเฟิร์มออกมาเนี่ยมันยังไม่มีแต่ว่าถ้าซูจีเนี่ยอยากจะมีบทบาทหรือว่ามีอำนาจอยู่เบื้องหลังตัวประธานาธิบดีจริงๆเนี่ยคิดว่าน่าจะมีบทบาทจะวางบทบาทตัวเองไว้ลอยตัวมากกว่านี้
Suu Kyi has said a peace process with the rebel groups would be the first priority of her new government. Political analysts say she and her party need to learn fast to solve the pressing issues of the country, especially to tackle the civil wars that continue to rage in Myanmar's ethnic minority borderlands despite a nascent peace process.
Well, that's the way it was in South Asia this evening. Before we conclude, the top stories once again. 6 people injured in suicide bomb blast in Pakistan. Willing to review blasphemy law, says top Pakistani cleric. And Bollywood brings sports drama this weekend with Sala Khadoos. Now our viewers can watch the show on SouthAsiaNewsline.com. You can also visit us on Facebook.com/SAsiaNewsline and follow us on Twitter @SAsiaNewsline. That's all in tonight's edition. We'll see you same time next week. Have a great weekend and good night.